Hey, this is John Willis again. We're doing another quick teaser for the DevOps for Networking next Tuesday, October 14th, Mountain View. DevOps 4, number 4 networks.com. So I've got to admit, this is my favorite guest of all. Sorry to all the rest of you. I met Brent a few years ago. We were heading out to Vail for this conference, and the dude just blew me away. It's been my kind of my mentor for all things network SDN. Just an amazing guy. I get to brag on him a little bit more, but the guy was running, OpenFlow 3.5 years ago. Um, you know, well known in the community for all his amazing blogs and writing and whatnot. And now I consider him a friend. Um, Mr. Brent, introduce yourself.
Hey, buddy. Yeah, no, it's you know, always awesome to talk with you. I think John, you probably, you know, 10 years ago when we were like doing scripts to operate networks, it was just called scripts. And so, sometimes you got made fun of because there was a lot of times it was like the dinosaur in the corner writing the scripts that nobody had any idea like how he managed the DNS. And, it just worked and it fixed itself when it breaks. So, it's pretty cool. We're definitely excited. So,
So
looking to you to help us. There's a lot going on. We got to get through the waters here and get networking caught up with compute.
yeah, no, I mean some of your, you've let me use some of your slides in some of my presentations that I've been giving at DevOps stage. The kind of, 15 years later, it's famous. That's one of my favorite ones. But so I mean, so again, we talked about this when we first met. We've been having ongoing conversations. The event is focused on this conversation. So give us a quick. What are your thoughts about kind of the intersection between DevOps and networking, and what do you think's happening?
Yeah, so I mean, we kind of went through like the awkward teen years of SDN where it's okay, let's just throw out everything we've ever done and everything we've ever thought of that worked and think that that's a good a good plan. And so, we've definitely learned that that's not necessarily the way. And I'm just as guilty as anybody. I mean, at Red Hat, we spent a lot of time working on controllers and um, on paper, lots of things look really good, but when it comes to practically operating them, I mean, 10 years ago when I'm operating, designing data centers, there was things you could just always count on to work, right? So while they were proprietary hardware, software, and APIs, it the benefit of that is it kind of protected you from yourself. So finding that balance of freedom and programmability versus scalability and reliability. It's going to be pretty fun. So
Yeah,
that's what.
I've heard you talk about this quite a bit, right? Like the this kind of new edge, the OpEx. I keep talking. What was the OpEx, which becomes the DevOps story. That I'll let you explain it, but the kind of new edge and how the game changes for everybody. If we're not paying attention to what could happen to us from just managing all this crap, not good stuff, not crap.
Well, no, you might be right there. Well, the edge of the network is definitely moving out to the server. So hardware is starting to appear that way. Um, so we used to have the traditional data center model and campus network model was just core distribution access. Yeah, so you had this three tiers, very straightforward, hierarchical. You could scale it. Now we've gone to more of a spine and leaf, so let's take out a layer there because we need bisectional bandwidth and all these mathematical reasons why we would do that. But we're really starting to put that third tier back in. So it's a multiplier of endpoints that have to be managed now, and so I'm not sure. Uh, People aren't doing it well today. It's obviously it's a problem. People aren't managing the physical networks very well today, much less this new soft network that is pretty much split 50-50 down the middle, depending on who you're talking to, whether it should be a network-centric approach or it should be a software-centric approach. So my answer is both. There's never, network architecture it's not cookie cutter. It's always going to be slightly different because workloads are different. So. Yeah, the only way we're going to get, I get excited when I hear people say, we don't do manual changes. We use scripts, and it turns into, whether they know they're doing it or not, it's turning into a developer CI pipeline.
Right.
So, it's great to be able to, you're starting to see architects saying, yeah, let me sign off on that because I know exactly what's going to happen. I know you're not going to fat finger, a BGP adjacency that's going to tear down our internet peer.
Yeah, no, I love the thing you said. You said this the other day when we were talking, but we've kind of not really nailed the whole physical part as an industry. And guess what, folks? It's gotten a lot more complicated with the virtual fabrics, the virtual switching, and all that. So, buckle down, folks. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty exciting. So, we're going, I think the fun thing is we're maybe sort of starting to catch up a little bit, but at the same time, we see compute is, I think we both agree on this. It's kind of, it's clearly the paradigm in computing is going to change because there's still efficiencies left. So, in order to make profit, people are going to find efficiencies. And, it basically comes down to, do you want to run 20 operating systems on that server, or do you want to run 100 or 1,000 applications on that server?
Yep. And we're slowly creeping into the dangerous Docker word. But so anyway, give us a little teaser about what your presentation is going to be about. Anyway.
So pretty much it'll be a lot of kind of lessons learned on controller development. What we had done over me and Kali, our partners in crime, Madhu Venugopal, and Dave Tucker, and when we were working with Chris Rice at Red Hat, great guy. So there's a lot of hard problems there, and let's make sure when we do hard things in software that we're not just looking for another way to solve a problem. And so, let's make sure when we do add complexity that we actually have a good problem we're trying to solve when we're doing it. And so when we're not, let's look at tried and true things that work. The internet scales really well. So why does the internet scale and we still have outages in data centers? It's I'm kind of going back to my roots.
Yeah, no, you've got the kind of history that it's like, I won't call it hype cycle because you guys have really rolled up your sleeves there. You've really dug in on Open Daylight project and learned a lot. Now it sounds like you've gone through the old network, the what was the quasi new, which is SDN is going to save the world, and now after for you personally 3.5 years, but I know you've been working with Madhu for a couple of years and hard-earned lessons on just SDN. And now I think what's going to be interesting is get to hear your thoughts now as we look at kind of a new compute paradigm and what the possibilities could be. Be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's amazing times.
Good
Looking
times.
forward to it.
Well,
Absolutely.
I will see you next Tuesday, my friend, at the Devops for Networking. So I think there's a few seats left. They're starting to, we're pretty close to getting sold out here. So if you see this video today or tomorrow morning, get yourself registered and come on over. We got JR kicking it off in the keynote. We got Brent speaking. We got Laurie McVitie from McVitie. I keep saying that wrong, from F5. We got Colin McNamara. Jeremy Shulman is going to be running a Do Network. Network folk have to program or not. I think we'll be pretty good. We're going to get some DevOps and network people in on that one. So going to be a fun event.
It's going to be pretty awesome. Looking forward to it. It's a great lineup.
Rock and roll, sir.
All right, boss. Thanks, buddy.
Yep,
Talk to you
sure.
soon, pal.